Hello, and welcome to day 2 of our venture into ruling the world as Germany. In Conflict of Nations World War III, the online strategy game. The usually pay-to-win, but we're not going to do it that way, strategy game. I'm going to give a few updates about the development of our country and where we've been going. But before that, I actually want to talk a little bit more about our neighbors. And we took a few minutes, if you watched the episode last time, yesterday, when we first got started, we looked at a couple of our neighbors and we talked about understanding their stats and understanding something about them as players based on their stats. And I specifically, one of the players we looked at was Poland, and I want to take a little bit of a return venture into Poland. Now, we noticed that he had only been in 15 games, but he had captured a lot of provinces. He lost a lot of provinces too, but he captured a lot of provinces, and he'd been in a lot of wins, all coalition wins, no solo wins. He'd had a lot of wins, but he hadn't actually done that much fighting. To have taken that many provinces and to have that many wins, he hasn't done that much fighting. Now, he's, killed more infantry than he's beaten. He's lost a lot more armor than he's beaten. He's lost as much support. He's lost more helicopters. He's lost a lot more fighters. So, he's not doing that much in fighting active players. And when he does, he loses a lot. So I was saying this was a good example of somebody to kind of be wary of if you're making a coalition or you're entering a coalition. You want to be aware of who you have in your coalition, because some people will have a lot of wins, particularly coalition wins, and they will have gained a lot of territory. They will have captured a lot of provinces without killing many troops from the other side. So basically what a lot of these people do is they will attach themselves to powerful players. They'll let the other powerful players kill off the troops in a given territory, and then they will move in and take up the space. Now, this guy, he does have quite a few defeated in AI, so it seems like he mostly goes after inactive players and accounts that don't have anybody playing them. So this is not somebody who really goes after active players. And it could be that he's jumping into wars late after the players on the other side have abandoned the battle. Because if you go a few days without logging into an account, AI will take up the fight for you. So it's possible that he's jumping in late because he's killed a lot of AI people here. Not that many active player troops. So anyway, I said keep an eye out for people like this if you're building a coalition, because they may be, and I didn't explain so well, but they may be looking for stronger players to ally themselves with, so that you can do the heavy work, and then they can come in and get some territory. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that this is true of this particular individual. I am just saying those stats indicate that that could be true. And that's something I like to look at when I'm playing a game. So, I got some messages from this individual yesterday. To start with, he asked for peace. Now, we weren't at war. He was afraid we were going to go to war because we had both gone after Czechia or whatever it is. I had taken Prague, he had taken some of the outlying areas, and he was afraid we were going to go to war over this area that we're both going into. So he asked for peace. Now, that also is something you want to pay attention to with your neighbors. Now, sometimes you'll be contacted and you'll contact others looking to build a coalition. That's not something we're doing in this game. We are going this alone, and that's typically how I play. But sometimes you'll be contacted by others wanting to build a coalition with you. But then other times you'll be contacted by individuals who are just wanting to ask you not to hurt them. It's one of the weirdest things about these war-based strategy games is that a lot of people sign up to play them who actually really seem to hate them for the most part. They're really not into war strategy. They get into these games just kind of hoping nobody ever actually attacks them, which is sort of interesting. And so they'll send you messages and they'll beg you, hey, please don't attack me. I'm not that strong. Please don't attack me. Let's be friends. Will you protect me? I think a lot of these are younger individuals who are used to looking up to stronger persons in their lives to protect and take care of them, and they look at you as kind of a surrogate parent or something. But we don't necessarily want to get involved in coalitions with individuals who aren't going to really be able to take care of themselves or assist in their own defense. And then later on in the conversation, he also told me that he was part of an alliance, which I don't remember noticing. He's part of an alliance, and that he wants to get out of the alliance and attack them later because they're not very strong. Big red flag there too. You're part of, a coalition. You're part of a coalition. You're part of a group of people working together, and you are plotting to leave them and then attack them later. That is also a red flag for who you want to look at. Now, personally, the only way I will be in a coalition with someone is if I fought them in a previous game, and they impressed me with their resourcefulness, resilience, stick-to-itiveness, whatever. Then I will consider working with that person later. I don't just pick up scared neighbors who are hoping I want to attack them. But those are some things that you want to look for. If somebody is expressing fear to you and asking you not to attack them, they presumably think you can beat them. They're afraid of you. And maybe they know something you don't. Maybe they know that they don't really know what they're doing and they don't really have a good strategy, and they are just afraid of getting into wars with other people. So there you go. All right, so going into what we've done. Now, France took Brussels. We were not able to get to Brussels before France did it, unfortunately. Now, for some reason, they have not taken up most of these other little provinces around. We did get Amsterdam, and we did get Prague. We didn't get all of the provinces because Poland came in and got some of those. We are getting all of the provinces for Netherlands, and now we're coming up here and we're going to pick up Denmark. So we're going to get a few extra cities. We are currently building our air bases. We're preparing to be able. This one is just at stage 1. This one, fortunately, in your capital, you start out with a level 1 air base. So we're working on level 2. We already have our arms industry, so we're going to be able to start making planes there tomorrow, and that is going to help us out a lot. This is still the kind of slow phase of this game. Unlike most players, it seems, I don't like to just wait and build up resources, but you do have to make your buildings and you do have to do your research to be able to build troops, to make troops and equipment that will make it easy for you to take provinces away from your neighbors. So that's what we're doing right now, and stay tuned for future updates. Within the next few days, we will actually start invading some of these folks around, and that's going to be fun, and I'm going to make some videos of that. All right, thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the near future.